Within the growing landscape of technology, it has come to infect all aspects of life and society, including music. Within the past few decades, we've seen the growth of technology being used to create music in more experimental ways, and having the ability to create music be more accessible. One of these technological advancements has been the vocal synthesizer Vocaloid. Vocaloid is a type of synthesizer that has pre-recorded notes and phonemes sung by a person, and allows you to program these sounds together to make the synthesizer sing. On the left side of the program, there is a piano similar to other synthesizer programs that lets you hear and set the notes, and once you choose the note you want to play, you are able to type in the word or phoneme that you want the singer to sing, and it will sing it in the note that you choose. You can also choose how long you want the note and can add different embellishments or vocal techniques to spice up the vocals and make it unique. You can also tune the singer to fit a certain key of a song, or have them sound a certain way to fit in with your music. Because they are a type of program that can sing, so you can make the singer sing however you'd like. Each Vocaloid you buy has its strengths and weaknesses, but if you buy a few, you'll have all that you need to create a song in any genre. You can even get creative enough to stretch the limits of one Vocaloid to fit the style that you're going for, which a lot of artists have done. But ultimately, their versatility is a big reason why they are used and are so beneficial. Here are some examples of how artists have used Vocaloid to their advantage and have made a name for themselves within the community, and some even outside of it. Mitchie-M is an electronic pop music creator starting around 2011, with his first song being uploaded on July 5th, 2011 on Nico Nico Doga. His songs consist of upbeat, bright synthesizer-made music that tends to have a high BPM, and he likes to focus his songs on more cute themes and sweet topics that put you in a good mood. He mainly uses the Vocaloid Hatsune Miku, but in the past few years has branched out to other Vocaloid voices. When Mitchie-M got onto the Vocaloid scene, he created quite a stir, for when he joined, no one had heard a Vocaloid be tuned and programmed to sound so realistic. Most people were used to a more robotic and choppy sound from the Vocaloid, for it was still a new program and not many had mastered the program as skillfully as Mitchie-M did. There was just something about how Mitchie-M had used the program that set him apart from other artists at the time. As I've mentioned before, a big part of the draw is the clearness and realisticness of Hatsune Miku's voice, but he does other things that make him unique. One, he tunes Miku to have a higher, sweet voice, to match the tone and style of his music. Her voice also has a bit of an accent that you don't hear in other artists, which he tuned himself, and it makes you able to tell it's a Mitchie-M song from just how his Miku sounds. Mitchie-M is also one of the most popular Vocaloid artists out there, and has his music be used in concerts with Hatsune Miku and in a couple of games. Utsu-p, also known as Depression P, is a J-rock/metal artist that started around 2008, with his first upload to Nico Nico Doga being July 9th, 2008. He makes loud metal music with distorted guitars and intense bass drums, along with implementing electronic sound every once in a while, and recently has been embracing the electronic sound in his works in his newest album, Unique. His main voice is Hatsune Miku, but also uses Kagumine Rin, Gumi, Flower, and most recently Kafu, who is actually a synth-V synthesizer. Utsu-p was one of the first metal artists on the Vocaloid scene, and definitely made a mark with how he used Vocaloid in his music. For one, he had tuned the girls' voices to be lower and more gruff and masculine, which most other artists weren't doing at the time. He also had distorted their voices outside of the Vocaloid program to add flair to his songs. Among these distortions, he had figured out how to make a growl/screaming sound that is commonly heard in metal music by distorting the voice with a guitar distortion machine. Now, at the beginning, his music didn't sound the most clean or realistic, but it was the closest someone had gotten to creating the voice most metal musicians have. Later on, he figured out how to make the screaming sound more like metal screaming, and had figured out how to tune the Vocaloid to fit the song more. And eventually, after many updates Vocaloid went through, they added a scream feature, which he had switched to using. As you can hear, there is a bit of a distinct difference. He also adds emotion by adding inflections to their voice to distinguish screaming from whispers and such. Kira is an electronic pop artist that started around 2016, with his first video being uploaded right at the beginning of the year. He makes songs that sound similar to the top hits in Western countries, with his songs relying heavily on electronic sounds, such as sampling. His music reminds me of the music that came out of America in the 2000s and early 2010s, and it sounds like he takes inspiration from artists like Britney Spears and David Guetta. Kira mainly uses Gumi and Hatsune Miku for his music, but also uses various other Vocaloids. Kira is known in the community for being an English Vocaloid artist. In his music, he experiments with how the vocalists say their words, such as how Americans pronounce their words in pop music. They don't pronounce their words fully, or change how a word is pronounced, such as when he makes Miku say me, he makes her say more of meh. This is evident in how Miku sings in I Do Whatever I Want. This makes them sound more realistic because singers usually make those choices unconsciously, or at least subconsciously. It makes the singing sound more natural for the Vocaloid. Also, at the end of phrases or words, he adds this sound, like this slight distortion at the end of their words. Britney Spears has done this in her works too, like when she sings "Oh Baby, Baby" in Baby Hit Me One More Time. You can hear Kira use these techniques in his works, such as For Blood and in Boom Boom Boom. He also has the Vocaloids rap in his songs, which to me is impressive with how smooth he can get the rap, such as in Machine Gun. Speaking of Machine Gun, I also love the distortion he adds in Gra-ta-ta-ta-da in his songs. So where does this leave us? I just showed you how a computer can essentially replace a human when it comes to singing, and can honestly be a cheaper, more reliable, and more versatile singer than hiring an actual singer. Plus, these artists and songs have become so popular that they have branched off into mainstream media. Does that mean Vocaloid will replace singers and perpetuate the human fear of robots taking all of our jobs and even taking over the world? Well, I doubt it. Right now, while the program is pretty good and can fool some, I don't think it's perfect, especially if you listen to a Vocaloid in a cappella. That's when you really can tell they're a robot. Along with that, I don't think these companies such as Yamaha and Krypton Future Media can keep up with making enough artists to have enough variety. I mean, I love Hatsune Miku as much as the next person, but if she and a handful of other artists were the only ones to be singing, it would get boring fast. There is also the innate love that humans have for singing. We like to be able to express ourselves through our voice, and that's something that can't be taken away. Now, while I'm okay with singing along to songs, there must be a unique feeling to being able to sing your own songs. Hell, even some Vocaloid artists sing their own songs. And with the love of karaoke and Japanese culture, a lot of Vocaloid producers will upload the instrumental of their songs for people to sing to, and are delighted when people respond with their covers of the song. So while the possibilities are endless, I really doubt that Vocaloid will be taking over the music scene anytime soon.